Os. Welcome UNLV students to the Shotokan Karate Studies program. By now you should know you've already warmed up, you've gotten the warm-up that you feel your body needs, you're adequate for starting the program this morning. So let's go ahead and get started with our typical, quick, general warm-up. Ready? And Hajime. Ichi. Ni. San. Yon. Go. All right, warmed up good there. Let's turn to the side, bring our heels to our glutes. Good, all right. Let's go ahead and do some high knees as well. Get my workout recorded, here we go. High knees. You can do this slow, just like I'm doing. Again, just bringing your knees up. You can do it fast if you feel like kind of bouncing a little bit, working your calves a little bit. Or if you want to go slow, go slow. And yame. All right, let's come up on our toes, stretching out our calves. And yame. Very good. All right, let's go ahead and do some body hip twists. And yame. Good. Arm up, across the side, stretching out our shoulder. Good, other side. Again, don't hold these too long. Just doing dynamic stretches here. Nothing too static, nothing being held for too long. Switching over. Other side. Good. Feet just widen shoulder width. Go down, touch the floor. Go to the right. Back to center. Go to the left. Back to center. All right, make that a little wider. We're gonna go down to the right, turning up on our left heel, stretching out our hamstring. Good, now we're gonna turn to the left in a long front stance. Pushing on the quad here, pushing the knee over the toe. And down to a runner stand, or a runner stretch. Good. Back up. All right, we're gonna do everything to the other side now. Leaning to the left onto the right heel. Toes pointed up. Stretching out your hamstring. All right, let's rotate that all the way around. Good front stance, long, deep, pushing on the quad, pushing the knee out over the toe, getting a good stretch. Transition that into a runner stretch. And come back to center, come back standing. Good. Turn around, fix your gi. Back to me. Yoi. Subirachi. Free. Yoi. Seiza. Dojo-kun. 一つ、人格完成に人を盛ること。一つ、誠の道を守ること。一つと力の精神を養うこと。一つ、礼儀を重んずること。一つ、景気の湯を戒めること。Ready? That's it. よい。しばらくち。Ready? よい。Today's class will be an intermediate class. This is intermediate class number 12. All right, so today what we're going to do is a continuation pretty much, just doing some more kumite. So again, we're not really focusing on kata, and we're not focusing on pulling anything out of kata. We're actually looking at kumite. So just like last week, and just like with my beginner class this week, we took some just kumite styles and combinations that you can use in kumite. And when I say kumite, I really do mean point sparring and things like that. So I don't really mean necessarily like a self-defense situation, and you can maybe kind of use some of these for a self-defense situation, and we'll kind of look at some of that as well, just because you have to be really fast in what you're doing here, and really honestly this is just touch, again, touch karate. So this would be point sparring, and what I mean there is it's just a quick defense and moving in for a quick attack and then bouncing out and getting away. All right. Now again, like I said, you could turn just about anything into a self-defense technique, and we can kind of look at that as well today. So I have my bag, and it's not a requirement for the class. If you have a partner, that's better obviously than using the bag, but I'm using a bag today just so I can show you the touch. All right, so I'm not really looking to destroy this bag with my kick or with my punch. I'm just looking for a quick touch. All right, and so again, that's really the difference in the self-defense versus touch and point karate. If you really want to turn this into self-defense, you really have to use a lot more power than what we're using here, because obviously in touch karate or in sparring, you're not trying to destroy your opponent. It's just looking to score points. Everyone's safe, everyone's happy at the end, no one's been hurt, and that's really what touch karate or point sparring is. All right. So so last week what I kind of touched on was a lot of defense or attacks. So if you're just moving straight in with an attack, you're not really defending anything first. So today we're going to kind of take a step back and actually look at defending first and then a counter attack. And the defense, whenever you're doing point karate, it's very quick. All right, so I know that we've looked in the past at self-defense techniques where if someone's punching, you're kind of stepping back, like with an uchi-uke maybe, or you're stepping back with an age-uke, and then you're doing a counter attack. Things like that. This is not going to be as linear, obviously, right? We're going to be in what I call our boxer bounce, right? You're going to be up this way, and I put my bag this way specifically because I use an orthodox stance. Orthodox stance is I'm open in this direction, my left foot is forward, my right foot is back, because my right hand is my power hand. So again, when I'm here and I'm punching, that is my power punch. Right, I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, then you're using an unorthodox stance, so your right foot is forward, okay? And you're going to be using your left hand more. Okay, that's your power punch. All right, so if you have a bag, you obviously you don't care about a camera or how it's facing, but in order for me to be facing you as much as possible today, I'll kind of be in this stance right here. All right, so when we practice this, we will practice left and right, so I do want you to understand how to do this regardless of whether you're standard or orthodox or unorthodox as far as your stance is concerned. So we'll use both just to get some drills in, but just be aware that's kind of why I have the bag on this side today, so that so my body is open to you and you can see the techniques that are being used for the most part. All right, so the first technique, let's see, let's start with something. I don't want to do the attack. I did have a couple of techniques that we're going to start off as an attack. So maybe we'll drop those to the end of the class, because as I did say, we're going to look at a defense first and then an attack. So, all right, so let's look at a Gai Kazuki or an Oizuki coming towards you. All right, so if you're standing here like this, all right, your opponent is typically standing the same way, same stance, right? Their left foot is forward, their right foot is back, their right hand is back. So this would be a typical attack. All right, they're just trying to move towards you and they're trying to score a quick point. All right, when you're standing here, I typically have my hands up a little higher than most people. Now, if you go to a traditional school where you're looking at specifically point sparring or things like that, you would be looking at your fist, let's say like your middle finger. If it had a line coming directly out of it, your right hand should be pointing at your opponent's stomach, okay? And your left hand should be that middle finger, okay, the line should be pointing at their chin. And so you should kind of be like this. That's typically how you would be standing in a point sparring competition or tournament, okay? Now I typically have my hands up a little bit higher, closer to my face, to defend my face. It does open up my middle a little bit more, but again, it's going to be up to you. And whenever you go to a tournament or a point sparring tournament, the techniques that are being used, just having some experience and going in and seeing what works best for you. So what's worked best for me is to have my hands up a little bit higher. Okay. If you want to make a fist, you can make fists, and typically you're going to have a glove on. And these gloves I don't have gloves, but they have this kind of bulbous look to them. All right, they're typically, when you see these pads, they're blue or red, and they cover your knuckles. They're heavily padded on the knuckle. All right, so they're very bulbous. Kind of looks like a bubble on your hand. All right, that's because, again, point sparring, you're just quick touching, all right, your opponent. Like, you're not trying to drive your fist into someone's chest or drive your fist into their face or anything like that. So, and even with kicks, you'll have foot padding on as well. It's not bulbous or anything like that because the way your feet can be angled, but you're just looking for quick touches. So even if it's a front kick, just a quick touch, side kicks, quick touch. So again, it's about control as well. So again, not about power as much. So think about that as well whenever you're doing this drill today, especially if you're working with a partner. Right, because again, if they're coming at you with that Kazamazuki, that quick jab, so this is what we would be doing. So this is our first technique. Again, if I'm standing here, we're in our bounce, right, and I do a quick jab, that's what I'm looking for. All right, I'm not looking to knock the bag back with full power. I'm just here and looking for a quick jab. All right, that's what your opponent is doing, and then your defense, okay, is just to slap it away, which is kind of like an uri-uke, right? So if you're here, you see that punch coming, you see with their feet that they're looking to spring forward, because all of the techniques, for the most part, are going to spring forward from your back leg. You're here, okay? You're lifting up that front leg and driving forward with your rear leg for that quick punch. All right, so look for that drive. You'll see what's getting ready to happen with their feet. Again, you're not looking at their feet. You're taking in everything by looking straight ahead at them. All right, their eyes, their face. All right, that's what we're watching. We can sense. When me standing here looking at the bag, I can see the entire bag from the floor to the ceiling. And if you're standing in front of your opponent, you can see everything. You can see them from their feet to the top of their head and going higher. So if you want to look right in this area to get a little bit more of what's happening with the feet, that's fine. But your eyes should stay high. You shouldn't just be down here watching their feet. And you should be watching their hands, right? Because when you watch hands can do this, right? You're up here. When you're watching hands, you lose track of feet. when you're watching feet, you lose track of hands. So don't lose track of anything. Keep centered on your opponent. So right in this area is where you want to keep your focus. All right, so again here, that's the attack that's coming. All right, so as that attack is coming, you're just sotoryu, okay? So just slapping that fist out of the way, you're just moving out of the way, stepping off to the side as it comes in, kind of defending again here, and then round kick. Out to the side. Okay, so it's fairly simple. You got your bounce going, the Kazamazuki comes in. All right, just like that. Let's practice that several times. Okay, so again, get your bounce. Kazamazuki. Right, and your stance will change. Right, because you step over here. Now your right foot is forward, so you're in this unorthodox stance. But if you want to switch it, switch it. All right, and you can begin your bounce again, see where your opponent is. But typically that's going to be a point, everything's going to stop, and you're going to come back to center. Depending on the tournament or the style of point karate. Sometimes it'll just be a full 2-minute round where that's all you're doing, over and over and over and over and over. You score a point, you score a point, you score a point, nothing stops. When the 2 minutes is up, it depends on who has the most points, and you move on from there. So it's really going to depend on how the tournament is set up. So don't worry too much about the point being scored, and then you stop, bow, return to your corners. All right, so this is not necessarily going to be like the Karate Kid, okay, where you just score a point and then it's done. Okay, all right, so let's practice that a few more times. All right, we're going to even switch stances. So listen for my command. All right, so get your boxer bounce. When I say, I'll say hai. So yes, that is when you're going to do your technique. And come to here, and then we'll go back to start, keeping your bounce going. I'll say height again, and we'll keep going. We'll keep doing that. All right. So let's try it at least 5 times, and then we'll go switch sides. So that means my back is going to be to you, unless I just kind of move to more of an open position here. All right. So this way, I can still do the technique. Right. I can still, Kazamazuki comes in, I can move it out, step and kick. All right. Feet. All right, this is important too. With your left foot, you're going to turn it out. All right, so I don't want you to twerk your knee, and I don't want you to keep, as you just step here, all right, for that, as you're avoiding that punch that's coming in, the foot should turn so that you can make that kick without twerking your knee or torquing your knee. All right, so I don't want you to twist your knee. So again, as you see it's coming, you're stepping, this foot opens up, you're going to this direction, execute the kick, and you come down. All right, so practice that a few times, again. All right, as the punch comes in, stepping over, and kick. All right, try the other side as well. So let me kind of open up my stance for you. I'll go to the other side. So again, you see the punch coming, avoid it, and land your kick. Go slow at first. You see the punch coming. There it is. Out to the side, land your kick. Again, it's coming. All right, and again, the kick should be chewed on level. All right, don't go for the face. It's going to depend on the tournament. Sometimes they don't want kicks to the face. It's really going to depend, all right? You really have to listen to whatever the rules are for the specific tournament that you're entering for this, and then adjust accordingly. I can't tell you for sure what will be the rules. They're different depending on the tournament, and it varies very widely. Maybe for kids, right, for 13 and under, they might say no head or punch to the face, no punches or kicks to the face. Maybe the older one, as you get older, like 13 and over, they'll say that it's okay, but maybe you're wearing helmets. So it's really going to depend on the tournament. So just keep that in mind as you do this. that stated, for this, let's just keep our kicks to right around the chest area, so chewed on level. All right, so again, let me go to this side. So again, when you see that punch coming, it's there. Okay, so again, my kick is right in this area here. All right, and this is kind of my stay below this line type of thing. So I can move this up, right, to represent the head. So that's someone's face. I want all my kicks to be below that. So I'm even moving it down a little bit lower than that. So if this were me, right, this bag is my height. This is shoulder height. I'm not going to kick them in the shoulder, so I'm looking at it right here would be the arm. So maybe here is where I want to put this pad. All right, so right there makes all the kicks here and lower. So again, whenever that punch is coming and I'm looking to avoid it, it's there, and then there's your kick. All right, so keep doing this with me. Every time you see me do it, I want you to do it as well, so you get in reps. All right, now we're going to do the actual drill. Okay, so we're going to say height, we're going to do the kick. I don't care which side you do. I'm not even going to call switch. I won't even call switch. You do it as you feel you need to. So if you just want to work this side because this is the side that you like to do the most because of your orthodox stance, that's fine. There, switch, right? There, switch. You do what you feel you need to do in order to execute the drill properly. All right, if you want to switch back and forth, that's perfectly fine. So again, let me just move a little bit this way. So here, kick, there it is, there. All right, so try it a couple times. Try it with both sides, see how you feel about doing it. Whenever we do the drill, work whatever side you feel most comfortable with, or switch it up as you go. Okay? So again, if you need to pause the video and try it a couple times to figure out what you like the best. Are you better with the left foot kicking, or are you better with the right foot kicking? Okay? Because maybe this is one of those that you kick better with your left foot, but you punch better right. That's your better punch, but your better kick is this one. So what do you want to do? If that's your better kick and you always know that, well then whenever that punch comes in, you happen to be standing goofy foot or unorthodox for your stance, as that punch comes in, there's your avoidance and your kick. All right. So let's try this a couple times fast in our boxer bounce. Ready? Hey! 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 Right? Good. All right. Couple things to notice. Okay. Whether you step to the side and land it quickly, or you step forward, okay, driving it in a little bit more, it's up to you. And it's going to depend on how your opponent moves. All right. So take that into consideration as well, and change it up. All right. Every single time, you don't have to swipe it, step side kick. You can swipe it, stepping to the side and forward, and land the kick. Maybe they're stepping now into your kick. Okay, again, that Kazamazuki's coming there. Maybe because I'm standing over on this side, the Kazamazuki's coming, stepping forward, and here, my kick is too close, right? So when I see that Kazamazuki coming again, I know, step over, land the kick. Because they're moving forward so much, right? They could throw their Kazamazuki like this, or like this. There's a difference, right? So you kind of have to see and understand how that punch is coming in. If that punch is driving in that far, that's going to work a little bit better. If they're staying close, they're not moving, right? Then you have to bring the kick to them. So again, something to keep in mind. If you have a partner, you can really work this a little bit better. But if you have a bag, just make that decision as you practice. Are you going to step it forward, or are you going to step it out to the side? Okay? Just trying to make that decision and change it up, right? As you're doing this in a real life sparring tournament or point karate, again, your opponent, they're going to have tendencies, just like you will, right? So whenever you're standing here and you see that punch coming, all right, they throw it quick, okay? Do they always throw it quick? Is it always just this, trying to feel you out? Or do you get that longer drive in, right? That really long Kazamazuki. Are they trying to drive in past your defense to land quick points? That's going to make a difference in how you set up everything, right? As you're moving forward in the tournament, and you see that punch coming, you know it's going to be that long punch. So you know you don't have to bring the kick to them, you know they're going to bring themselves to your kick. Are they always standing in place? They don't move a lot? You know you're going to bring the kick to them. Okay? So something to think about, definitely a good drill to practice. Alright, so just think about that drill, work through that drill several times. Let's move on to our next technique. Alright, our next technique is going to be very similar. Okay? So instead of moving off to the side, you see the Kazamazuki coming, okay? You're just defending and moving quickly with that side kick. So we're going to yoko geri. Right, instead of stepping off and mawashi geri, the punch is right there. Yoko geri. Okay, again from the other side, the punch is coming directly to you. It's right there. Quick defense. It's similar to a Soto Ryuke. Again, we're not bringing it all the way around, right? That's what we practice as beginners. Bring that block around, right? That's what we practice, that's what we know. When you get into Kumite, you're standing up a lot more, all right? So when you see those Kazamazukis coming, those quick punches that are coming for your face, it's just, you don't want to start way back here to block that. It's going to take way too much time. It's right there. You see it coming, move it out of the way. Maybe move your body slightly if you have to, but again, you're bouncing. It's coming. All right. And again, control your kick. Don't take them off. Don't take off their head. All right. Don't take them off their feet if you can avoid it. But again, you can see how close I was, so I kind of had to just control that a little bit. I didn't get a full extension on my kick, all right? And again, remember that Kazamazuki, are they driving? Or is it just, they're not moving very much, right? If they're driving that kick to you, it's here, and that's the kick, all right? If they're not driving it to you, you're moving forward a little bit, okay? Make the decision as it comes, all right? Do your best. If you take them off their feet, you take them off their feet. It's not necessarily your, I don't want to say it's not your fault. It is your fault, but you can only control so much, right? If they walk into your kick, they walk right into it. That's all that you can do is you're defending yourself, right? Swipe, kick. All right, from this side again, swipe it, kick. You see the punch coming, swipe it, kick. All right. So I don't necessarily want to call it a soto ryuke, I don't want to call it a swipe or a slap, but it is a quick, all right, just a quick, it's almost like a high shoe, okay? It's just a quick, move it out of the way, all right? It's coming right for your face, move it out of the way, all right? You're not trying to block it here, you're not trying to block it, all right, as it's coming toward you. That's old school kumite. That is, you're a beginner, you're a yellow belt, and you're learning block, counterattack. Block, counterattack. Right? Block, and then a counterattack. Okay? That's slow, it's how you're learning, and it does help. Right? It does help because you are understanding, I can block something up high, I can block it off to the side, I can move in with my block, I can grab an arm and move in with that block. Right? These are all things that help you learn along the way. Whenever you get to that kumite, you understand, I'm just doing something that's quick. Right? All right, so let's practice this a few times. Again, I'll say height. I don't care which side you're doing. If you want to switch it up, switch it up. All right, I'll probably be switching it up a little bit, but if you're just used to working one side, you have a really good left yokogeri, stick with that side, okay? But if you want to practice both, if you want to make sure that whether the situation, maybe, right? So maybe that first Kazamazuki came in, you moved it, there's your kick, you're here, you don't have time to switch before that other Kazamazuki comes in, so all you can do is slap it and do your side kick. All right, those are our first two techniques that we practiced. If you don't have time from the switch, you have to be able to execute with both. All right, so just keep that in mind. That's kind of the reason that you want to practice with both. If you find yourself in that situation where I always kick with my left leg, right? But you've been backed up, your right leg is forward and you want to use that right leg to kick, can you do it? You don't want to be stuck in a situation where you can't. All right, so make sure you practice both. Even though you're really good with your right, you're really good with your left, practice both. All right, so let's try this one a few times with our bounce. All right, so again, you can do this however you feel. If you want to do like I told you before, with your knuckles, all right, that middle finger, like there's a string or a laser pointer strapped to your finger. Your right hand should be pointed directly at their stomach. Your left at their chin. All right, so just like this. Okay, if you're more like me, I keep my hands up and I kind of have them open a little bit. It's easier for me to defend quickly. Okay, but if you want to make a fist the entire time, I feel more tense when I'm doing this the entire time. Okay, so I tend to kind of open up and try to relax. But again, it's up to you, and you'll find your style if you start doing these tournaments, or you'll find your style just doing kumite with your partner. Right? If you have someone to work with, what's your style? Do you feel like I'm way more tense? I feel like everything I do is going to be blocked and punch. Okay, there's that quick block and stepping out, and then I'm kicking. Or do you feel a little bit better here? Kick. Okay. Right? You'll get a feel for what you feel the best doing. Okay? What makes your body feel right, what makes your karate feel like it's your karate. Right? So I don't like to tell people, stand here like this. You have to be a robot. Right? Do what feels natural to you. Okay? Alright, so let's practice this a couple times. So again, this is your slap. Okay? You're defending that Kazamazuki and throwing that side kick. Okay? And again, power is going to vary. Okay? If they're coming in, they're launching that punch and it gets deflected, they're going to walk into that kick. Okay? Versus them standing here, just throwing some reach. Okay? Just trying to back you up, it gets moved off, and then the kick comes, it's not going to come as hard, potentially. Alright, so let's do this a couple times. Ready? Hey! 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 Come in. All right, good job. If you need to take any breaks throughout class, feel free to do that. Pause the video, grab water, whatever you need, okay? I'm not gonna prompt you to do that. You know what you need, do what you need to do, okay? All right, let's look at defending quickly, all right, by stepping back. If I'm here, Kizamazuki, what's the best defense? Okay, I'm standing here as well. That Kizamazuki's coming. That's the best and quick defense, right? It's just moving out of the way. Maybe a little bit of Tai Sabaki where you're gonna move off to the side. That punch is coming straight in, okay? Straight into my face here. Angles, okay? If it's coming in this way, you don't wanna move that way. It's because you're potentially, I guess you could. So, but again, if it's coming here, their body's open, right? So if they're coming here, again, now their body is closed. So it's gonna depend on what side you want to attack. Open side or closed side. We've gone through this before. Open side or dead side, right? Live side or dead side, open side, closed side. So here, the punch comes in. If I move that direction, I'm moving to their open side or live side. If I move that direction, okay, their dead side or their closed side is to me, which means I'm going to attack their back. So you have to make a decision on what you're trying to attack. We are going to do a lunging Kizamazuki as our counter. Okay, so here is our attack. It's coming straight for our face. Quick jab. We're going to step back, off to the side, and then lunge with our Kizamazuki as our counter attack. It's very simple, but very effective if you're fast, because it should go in timing as bum bum, bum bum, bum bum, right? You're here, bum bum. Again, the punch comes in, bum, 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 bum. If you wait, bum, they have a chance for another attack, right? If you wait, it's there. Oh, you moved over here, there. Okay, they're going to throw 2 quick jabs at you, or 1, 2. All right, so be quick. When it comes at you, it's the back, forward. Keep your guard up. I don't want to get too far away from the back. So I don't want to pretend that they're this close, but because I'm backing up so far, I still want to be able to attack the bag. So I'm having to, typically the bag would be here, but they're advancing on me. So instead of being in that square, it's this square. That's where I'm backing up and then moving in for my attack. So I have to be close to the bag to start this. With your partner, you can stay, the distance doesn't matter, right? Because as they attack you, you're going to back up to there or off to the side and reach in with your attack. With the bag, it's stationary, so you have to get close if you're going to back up first. So again, they throw that Kizamazuki, 1, 2. Okay, Kizamazuki comes in quick, 1, 2. Keep this hand up. Okay, as that Kizamazuki comes in, defend if you need to. Kizamazuki. Right, again, let's get close. The punch comes, defend, punch. Punch comes, defend, punch. Okay, I'm not going to reach it this time, but defend, punch. Defend, punch. Okay, defend, punch. Step offline when you need to. Again, here, defend, punch. Okay, getting close, defend, punch. Okay, so step offline, back it up, Attack with your lunging Kazamazuki. Lunge toward them. All right. It should be a long punch. You should be closing distance. Okay. Should be closing distance. All right. They're coming to you with a lunge. You're backing off of it. Okay. Lunge. All right. Cover some squares on the floor. Okay, lunge towards them, get in as close as possible. This should still have a power effect. All right, you're not, again, not knocking them out. You're not trying to take their head off or knock them off their feet. But when that punch comes, all right, stepping back, cover the distance to return. Keep that hand up. Okay, again, there. Staying in close. You can even double it, right? You can 1, 2, lunge, punch. Okay? Because it's very close. This hand is already out there. 1, 2. All right? But if you're moving off to the side, the 1, 2 isn't necessarily needed. So if the punch is close, so you're here and you're just stepping offline, and then moving in for that attack, you really just need that one hand to kind of redirect and keep it out there. Okay, so again here, a lunge, redirect, cover some ground to get that attack back in there. All right, so practice that a few times, make sure you feel like you have it down pretty well. Let's jump into it together. All right, ready? Get your bounce. Get close to your bag if you're using a bag. Your partner, stay the same distance that you've been this entire time. Okay? They're lunging their punch. They're lunging to you. So again, you don't have to worry about distance on this, except if you're using a stationary partner or a bag. So you're here. All right? Again, close. Lunge. Lunge for that attack. All right? Okay, so we're going to do this again, boxer bounce. Switch sides if you want. Back up, lunge attack. Step off line, lunge attack. Try to double defend, lunge attack. Single defend, back up, attack. Okay? Try several different combinations to get what feels right. All right, again, if you're working with someone, it's much easier to try to feel out all those things. So you could say, okay, quick defense, keeping it out there, opens them up, I'm moving in, all right? Or am I stepping off to the side with that quick block and reaching in with that Kazamazuki? Get what feels right to you, practice it several times until you find what feels right for you and the situation, all right? Are they taller than you, so they have a greater reach? Maybe this, and they're 6'2", it makes a big difference when you're 5'6" or 5'7". That's a long reach compared to you, right? So just keep that in mind, all right? Good to practice with varying heights of opponents, but when you're practicing on your own, it's hard to judge that or gauge that, so you pretty much want to try to imagine your opponent being your same height. That helps for everything, right? My Jodan is right here. This is the highest I want to go. Chudan is right in this area here. That's as low as I want to go. Don't really want to. In Kumite, in sparring, you don't want to go below. You can't really go below the knees. It really depends. Again, back to the rules. They vary. Sometimes they don't want anything below the waist because you can really destroy people's legs and knees. So they don't want anything below the waist. Everything is waist high or belt and above. And again, it's going to depend on the tournament. Self-defense, no holds barred, right? Whatever you want to do is what you can do. So we won't go there right now, but so let's just practice this a couple times. Ready? Get close if you have a bag. Hey! Hey. Hey. Sorry about that one. Ready? Hey. Hey. And yame. Os. Bow to your opponent whenever you're done. Just again, protocol, respect. All right, whenever you're finished with a technique or with a drill, you want to bow to your opponent, they bow to you. Move on to the next thing. All right, respect. Thank you for being my partner. Let's move on. All right, got some more time. Let's have your opponent back you up. All right. You say it's a little bit more difficult with a bag. With a partner, it's a little easier because what you would be doing is a Gaikazuki. Okay, they're moving forward still. Gaikazuki, you're retreating. As you retreat, you turn and you Shirogeri. All right. It's very difficult. That's what I really wanted to do, but you can't really do it with just a bag. It's easier with a partner. So instead, let's work on, let's talk about how we can turn this into more self-defense, right? So as we're closing out class, we're coming into our time. Let's talk about how we can turn some of this stuff into more self-defense, okay, from Kumite. All right, so then we talked about the first one where you're kind of sidestepping and then the kick. All right, let's talk about how that can be more self-defense. All right, so again, what you're looking at is that punch coming in, that Kazamazuki or that jab coming in. But this can also be a right cross. Now, typically in Kumite, it's going to be speed. You're up high. You're not really trying to get this punch out of the way. All right, typically in a more of a fighting situation, that right cross is coming. All right, so you're probably not bouncing like, all right, let's do this. It's typically not going to happen. All right, if you're in a bar, the mall, a restaurant, out on the street, and someone approaches you, you're not going to get up and start doing a boxer bounce with someone. All right, if it's a mutual competition, a mutual fight where you're going in with the intention of, hey, we are both getting ready to enter into a fight. Maybe you want to get into that boxer bounce, okay? That makes a little bit of a difference. But if you're just, hey, I'm not looking for trouble, let's walk away from this, but your opponent or there's someone else who is an aggressor, okay? This is the situation where you're more like, hey, I don't want to fight. Let's walk away from this, okay? That right cross comes, or that jab comes. So jab, again, right there. That jab is coming for your face, and typically it's someone standing here like this, and they're just throwing that jab, all right? Or right cross, okay? Either one, let's look at that first technique that we talked about, where you're just simply slapping it or moving out of the way, opening up that kick, okay? So again, with the bag, if it's regardless of the punch, okay, Kazamazuki with their left, here, open side kick. All right, that kick is going to land somewhere in here. They've punched, they've missed, you move off to this side, the leg comes in, there's the kick. It's probably going to land on their ribs. That's a good thing, okay? Other side, they're going to throw their right cross. All right, they're throwing it, you're here, directly to their target, right? So again, the target's the same. The target is your face. Jab, gets a quick deflection, potentially, kick comes in here. Right cross, deflection, you're moving off on this side, the kick is gonna come in on their stomach. Both are great targets, both typically will take someone, knock the breath out of them. Okay, if it's the right cross and you land their stomach, it's going to knock the breath out of them. If it's that jab, that left jab, and you land the ribs, that's going to knock the breath out of them, but potentially break a rib, potentially cause more damage, all right? Because you're kicking into flesh and bone, Whereas here, this is all organs and guts, lungs, things like that. It's probably gonna, they're gonna be too quick. There's gonna be two reactions. They're gonna be slightly different. Okay, so just think about that when we do this. All right, you can move off to the side. That deflection, the counter is still the same. Okay, again, the counter is still the same. The jab, it's there, it's there. There's your kick. The cross, the right cross, you're still either going to duck under it or you're moving back and deflecting it, and there's your kick. Okay, you duck it, stepping in and around. All right, you can still duck it moving forward. That's a little bit more risky. You can maybe do an age-uke with it, age-uke, and kick. But either way, the target's the same. The target is your face. How are you going to get around that? Okay, the jab, okay, the right cross. All right, and you see what I do with my hands there? I can potentially use their arm as leverage. When that right cross comes, it's deflected, but then I can grab it and use that to pull as my kick comes in. Again, if you're here, that right cross is coming. There it goes. Grab, kick. Okay, the jab, not as easy to catch because that right cross typically tries to come and stay out there. The jab is quick. They're just trying to pop you in the face real quick, catch you off guard to come up with a counterattack. It's just quick. That's much harder to catch than that. They're trying to throw power with that. They're going to step with that, okay? There's going to be a lot more power with that cross than that quick jab. That jab's hard to catch, so don't try to catch that jab. Just deflect that jab and kick. Now let's talk about the kick. I talked about it landing in the center for tournaments especially, for point karate especially, but for self-defense, maybe you want to go for their knee. Take them to the ground right away, okay? So that jab comes deflected, side kick can land to the knee. All right, I've just jabbed, stepping forward, deflected, this knee is wide open. The kick comes in, you're going to drop them very easily and quickly there. Okay, don't do that in a tournament. That's a big no-no. Don't do that in a tournament. So again, that punch, deflected. Remember to carry that knee up, a wave. Okay, it should come up and down. Okay, that's where your power is going to come from with that kind of kick. Otherwise, the Mawashi-geri is just fine. Deflection, Mawashi-geri. Okay, same thing with that cross. Grab, Mawashi-geri. Same thing with that cross. Again, if it gets deflected and held, come down and again kick. The punch is deflected, up, down with that kick. Or this leg even, okay? Up, down onto that back leg. All right? Look at your target, look at how close someone is. Work with the partner, try to figure out how this will change, okay? Dynamically, this will change, depending on how your opponent is moving. All right, so same thing with that yoko-geri, all right, that we practice for Kumite. Again, whenever that jab's coming, backing you up, back up a little bit. Give yourself some space to step in with that side kick. All right, that jab came in, got deflected slightly, you backed up, and now you can step in with that side kick. All right, and this should be a good side kick. It can go to the knee, all right, so again, there is the deflection, right there's that knee. Okay, so again, if you see that jab coming and you can't get out of the way left or right, linear, kick that knee. All right, linear, you can, I was going to say maybe you could do an ashibarai, but again, it's going to depend on how far out they're stepping. There's the punch. If it got deflected, you're probably not close enough to get an ashibarai or try to sweep their leg. But that Yoko Gedi makes perfect sense, right? That we practiced. Again, you're here, deflection, side kick. All right? Again, deflection, side kick. The cross, not as easy. Okay, because the side kick is going to go most likely to the closed off side of their body. Right? So if they're going to throw the punch there, or they're going to step into it, it's deflected, that side kick's going to land like awkwardly somewhere in here. So I wouldn't recommend it for that. But for that jab, right, they've backed you up, maybe they've tried that jab a couple times. Jab, jab, okay, you see maybe it's going to come that third time, swipe it, and kick. All right, so again, another way to think about it, when you take it outside of Kumite and make it more self-defense. All right, let's look at the last one, which is step back lunge Kazamazuki. All right, so again, whenever you see that punch coming, I know it's quick. I know you're not looking to grab it like I just did there, but that jab comes quick. All right, all you want to do is move it, make sure it's not going to hit you, and return your own. There's that jab again. Move it, move in. The jab comes in again. You're quick. Okay, you see it coming. Attack with your arm. Right, and just be quick. Be ready. When you're practicing this, you are quicker. You are more ready. You're ready to defend against those type of things because you practiced it. All right. Doing things over and over, practicing things over and over become more muscle memory. Things start going into slow motion when you're in a real situation. You see that punch coming, like, oh, there's that jab. I'm gonna move it. And there's my punch. There's that jab. Gonna defend up here. Moving in for that punch. Okay? So again, just think about these things. Work these things with a partner if you have a partner available. And if you don't, use your bag. Like I said, you're standing close, the jab comes. And this time I do want to make my target higher because it should be their face. Okay? So again, you're close. Step off of that back foot. Okay? They're just standing here, throwing that quick lunge. Right? They might push off a little with their back foot, not very much. Okay? This, just trying to pop you in the face really quick, is again defended. That's much more power going into that than theirs. There, okay? But me, I've stepped back, I've coiled that spring, and I'm releasing the power of that spring. Springing forward into them, throwing that jab into them. My jab is going to be much more powerful than their jab. Okay? Again, if it's just, you're standing close, you're not, maybe you're not standing this close, but again, human partner versus bag, they're throwing that jab. Okay? All I'm doing is backing up out of the way, coil that spring, deflect that punch, launch with that punch. Right? Good, hard, strong punch. Okay? So again, these are all things that you can kind of take into Kumite, but you can take out into a self-defense situation. And that's what I want to relay with you here, is that Kumite has a lot of rules around it. Right? There's only specific things you can do. Those kicks can only go so low, can only go so high, depending on the rules. In a self-defense situation, all that changes. But the same type of move applies. All right? Again, if it's, you have gloves on and that kick or that jab comes in and you're just deflecting and kicking, stepping off to the side. So stepping off to the side, landing that kick, that makes perfect sense, I get that. But that jab comes in and you want to step off to the side and throw that side kick to their knee, dropping the opponent, makes a difference. Okay, self-defense versus Kumite. they're both very effective in their own situation. Okay, it's very effective in Kumite to step off to the side, round kick, score that point, and be ready for the next attack. Okay, in self-defense, you want to end things as quickly as possible. Okay, that jab comes in, step off to the side, take their knee out. Again, I've just jabbed, my knee is out, I can barely walk. Okay, I'm not going to be able to throw hard punches because my power is gone. I'm not going to be able to throw kicks because my balance is off if I try to balance on this leg to kick. And my kick's not going to be powerful if I balance on this leg and kick because my knee's damaged. Just things to think about, all right? Think about it, especially if you're working with a partner, because your partner could throw things at you as well and say, oh, now look what's open. If you kicked me here, look what's open if you punched me here, right? Because you don't have to necessarily, just because I waved off that Kazamazuki there, okay, it doesn't mean I have to throw that round kick. Maybe, let me sit back here. Again, maybe if that jab comes in and I've deflected it here, I can Gyakuzuki to their stomach. Okay, so again, if you're working with a partner, outstanding. A lot more options that become open because you kind of see body mechanics and how that works. But if you have a bag, you can work your basics, get your, don't want to say basics, but get key things in place. Okay, so you're able to work the same things over and over. For instance, okay, you're going to keep practicing that. Jab, okay, and then it becomes a real situation. You think, okay, jab, there's that kick, okay, oh, that knee was wide open. When that jab comes, we're going to take him out at the knee. Jab, knee. All right, so you know this certain skill because you practiced it hundreds and hundreds of times. Moving out of the way, stepping to the side, landing that kick to the stomach. Right, that makes sense. I got that. Okay, but maybe your distance changed. That round kick's not going to work. The side kick's going to work. Just things that you can try out. All right, practice it. Get that boxer bounce going. Think about that punch coming in. Okay, there's the punch. There's the kick. Okay, there's that punch. Maybe a side kick is more effective. Maybe a side kick feels a little better. Maybe my round kicks aren't that good because my hips aren't good. But I can do that side kick. Okay, so again, change it up based on you. Come up with your karate based on understanding Kihon techniques that work best for you. All right, so hopefully you've enjoyed that. Hopefully you can employ some of those things into your Kumite and practice with a partner. Hopefully you can take some of the Kumite and move that into a self-defense situation. So again, you're implementing the things that you're learning for Kumite and taking that into something that you can then extrapolate and put it into a self-defense situation. Okay, so let's come back to center for class. Yoi, Subidachi, Ren, Yoi, Caesar. All right, for today's meditation, I want you to just go over the moves that we did, the actual Kumite, the sparring part of each one of those things that we just did. Okay, you're both wearing a gi, you're both wearing gloves, you're both wearing a helmet, you're both wearing pads on your feet. Kazamazuki's coming in. What are you going to do? All right, Okusho. Mokusu Yame, Sensen Yuri, Tate, Yoi, Subidachi, right? Yoi, Os. All right, thank you students for joining me for this class. Hope you got something out of it. Hope you feel good about what you learned today. We'll see you in the next class.